In this evening session, we're going to talk about addiction. We're going to get a good understanding of what addiction is. We're going to figure out a different way of looking at addiction. Helps us understand it much better. Now, society sees addiction as wrong, and this doesn't help. It makes things worse, especially for the people that are struggling with addiction. So let's understand where it actually comes from and why people become addicted to anything anyway. Now, we live in the emotional dark ages. That means most, if not all, the people in your life have not known how to be there for each other or yourself emotionally. And we've had many, many experiences in the past that have been so emotionally neglectful that we have experienced distress emotionally without that distress having any resolution to that. Now, what we learn in the moments, like for example, when I am a child and I learn that it is not okay to be a part of myself. And this could be many, many different examples, but let's talk about the example of being angry. Let's say as a child, I am angry for whatever reason that is. Now, in an attempt for my caregivers to control my behavior and control the way that I am, I will get scolded. I will be punished for being angry. That is the mainstream parenting technique of good behavior reward, bad behavior punishment. So the punishment comes through to make me react and make me behave in a different way to the way that I am in that moment. But in that moment, I am angry. We are emotional beings. So emotions come first. So whatever emotion I feel in that moment is who I am. Now, I learn in that moment that it is not okay to be angry. But if I am angry and that is who I am in that moment, then what I'm learning is that it's not okay being me, being this part of me. So what I do in order to maintain a relationship with my caregivers and the social circle that I'm in, which is my family, is I learn to reject the part of myself that is not accepted or acceptable by the people around me. So I reject the anger. I reject the part of me that is angry. This is now an aspect of myself that I push away. This is an aspect of myself that I push somewhere and I put it somewhere where I don't have conscious awareness of, which is my subconscious. I am unaware of this because this is how I keep myself safe. Now, we have many, many aspects within us that carry anger, for example. And I have all of these aspects that are carrying anger, and they're all trying to get my attention. How are they trying to get my attention? Now, the experiences we have created a split in the consciousness, which then created a different aspect as well. What I did is I rejected the angry aspect and I took on the other aspect. In the moment we suppress to maintain the connection, that is when the rejection happens. Now, throughout my life, I will have experiences which will trigger an emotion. It will trigger me to a certain degree, and that trigger could be any emotion. But let's continue on with the example of anger. So if I have an experience in my life that creates a trigger, and then I am triggered to feel anger, then that's this part of me that I have rejected, that I learned to reject as a child, trying to get my attention, trying to be healed. So this trigger is a communication. It's a communication of a part of myself that needs my attention. This is how my being, this is how my body, my human being shows me this part of myself. Now, to understand more your feelings and your emotions and how they are a communication, you can actually watch my latest video on YouTube called The Most Important Thing That You're going to Know About Yourself, Feelings and Emotions. Now, I'm triggered to feel these parts of myself, and this is the part of me that's carrying this emotion. But The reason I reject it is because that is how I have stayed safe. I have stayed safe from rejection by rejecting this part of myself. So my caregivers and my family don't push me away. Now, this is an undesirable emotion to feel for me as well. So it's not just the rejection, it is an undesirable emotion. Now, I have so many unconscious patterns of not feeling this, rejecting this part of myself, pushing this part of myself away. It's an unconscious pattern. That means I don't have conscious awareness of what's actually going on. Now, that was one experience. We've actually had hundreds, if not thousands, of experiences like this throughout our lives, where we've learned to reject hundreds, if not thousands, of aspects of ourselves that are all trying to get my attention. Now, if I'm in this pattern of pushing these aspects away, more and more are created as well throughout my experiences of life. So I'm pushing more and more of these aspects away. And again, remember, there's hundreds of thousands of these aspects that I'm pushing away, and I've been avoiding them. I can't keep pushing them away anymore. It's getting really, really hard. They're getting really, really loud, and I'm living in pain and avoiding them. So I'm actually living in the pain I've been avoiding, and it's unconscious to me. And because they're unconscious to me, I can't see the pain I'm living in, but it's still there and I feel it. So what do? How can I live in that pain? I can't. So what do? I figure out a way, that any way that I can, to stop living in the pain that I cannot see. So I try and do anything and everything that I can. Then I learn some things can stop the pain. I can distract myself. I can distract myself from it by constantly being busy. This could lead me to working a lot more than I actually should, a lot more that's actually healthy for me. I could spend so much time doing things that give me a satisfied feeling. There are things that we can do which releases endorphins, which actually makes us feel good in that moment. Oh, I know, the gym. The gym does that. Every time I go to the gym and I exercise, I get a release of endorphins. So instead of sitting with my thoughts, I can go to the place that makes me feel good, which is the gym. So I'll just keep going and going and going, much more than I really should, much more than is actually healthy for me to go. I go to the field so much that I just, it feels normal. I go to the gym. This is how I get addicted to the gym. Or I drink alcohol and I start to numb myself from those aspects. I start to numb myself from the parts of me. I start to numb the communication. These aspects are trying to get in touch with me, but I can numb that with alcohol. All the pain that they carry, that I feel but can't see. So now I learn that alcohol takes me away from the pain. And being drunk is so much less painful than being sober. This is the same for weed and other drugs. That can all take me away from the pain that I'm living in, but I cannot see and I do not have conscious awareness of. So I look for anything that makes me feel better. Doesn't matter what it is. Anything that can take me away from the pain. I learned that certain foods make me feel good. So I start eating more and more than I should, because it takes me away from the pain. Whenever I am using the thing that I'm addicted to is only because it takes me away from the pain. But this is all unconscious to me. Not only me, it's unconscious to everyone around me as well. Everyone can see physical wounds. For example, if I fell out of a tree and broke my legs, everyone could see those broken legs. But No one can see emotional wounds, not myself or anyone else. So now I live in a state of pain that I cannot see, that I have to figure out how to escape from. And also the people around me, as well as myself, can't see what's going on. So now I'm pushed away because of the thing that I have found, which takes the pain away. But I can't give this pain relief up, because otherwise I'd be back living in the pain. I rely on this in order not to be in pain. So what does addiction look like? We have different levels of pain. Some people are in more pain than others because of the experiences they've been in their lives. Or some people have gotten really good at hiding their pain from themselves. Some people have gotten so good at hiding it from themselves, they can't even feel. They struggle to feel any emotion. There are different forms or levels of addiction as well. It doesn't have to be someone that drinks alcohol every single day. If you need a drink at the end of the week in order to relax and let go, then there is a reliance on that substance in order to numb yourself from your internal world. This is a form of addiction as well. So understand that a human's natural state is an innately healthy one. We've had experiences in our lives that have knocked us out of alignment of our natural state. And these parts of you need your attention. So you can relax at the end of the week by just yourself, not by relying on a substance in order to be able to relax. Now, this isn't suggesting anyone is doing anything wrong. That's not the message that I'm giving out at all. It's not wrong not to want to be in pain. And it's not wrong to figure out how to get yourself out of living in this unconscious pain. Actually, it's something that you should recognize as a win to a certain degree. Whoever would be addicted to anything has figured out how to stop the pain. And that's amazing, because otherwise we would kill ourselves. Anyone living in constant pain, understandably, will get to a place where they can't take it anymore. And that usually leads to suicide. So what can I do? Maybe I've recognized I have some addictions and I am addicted and I am reliant on other things. So what can I do? How can I move forward? These parts of myself will not go away on their own. That's not how I work as a human being. We need to do the exact opposite to what we've been doing this whole time, which is start giving these parts of ourselves the attention that they're looking for. They have communication for us. They need healing. We need to learn how we work as emotional beings, learn how to heal ourselves emotionally. These parts need healing. And it doesn't matter what stage anyone is at. You can always get to a place you want to get to. And it will be challenging. It can be challenging, and that's very normal. But it doesn't mean that it's undoable or you can't do it.